Oh man, I got the jersey. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
It's good, bro.
There we go. There we.
What's good? What's good?
Yo,
You can hear me good, man?
yes, I can. Yes, I can, brother. I can hear you great, man. This, I ain't gonna lie, you.
I see you got an Ultimate Warrior t-shirt, man. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. That's the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, man. Huge wrestling fan, bro. I'm a huge wrestling fan. Like everybody know that. Like everybody know that. I definitely the one things I will say is I definitely support the wrestling community. I think it's really good. Shout out to my cousin. He's also another person that represents the wrestling community. But shouts to everybody, man. Like I love that nostalgia.
No doubt. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. Going through a job change. That's been one of the hardest things. You know, I've been at NYU for about 10 years, and you know, that job change sometimes is like kind of different, but sometimes you gotta elevate. And yeah, man, that's why that and you know, just the certain things about when I lost my dad. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes I watched the Allen Iverson podcast earlier today, right? And Allen Iverson been sober for about 6 years, or 6 months. I was about to say 6 years and BS, but he said 6 months, and that stood out to me. I'm not even gonna lie. It stood out to me to a point where I was like, yo, I gotta change the way I live. You know what I'm saying, man? On a day-to-day basis. And you know, it's tough, Ebro. It's tough. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I know every time I could call you for, you know, information or advice and stuff like that. And I think sometimes as a man, like, we all fall victim to being egomaniacs.
It comes with the job, though. Being an egomaniac, it comes with the job. You know, later on, if you get kids and stuff like that, you know, all that comes into play. You got to figure out how to balance it all. I just don't get it. You know, a lot of people do a lot of stuff. I don't know how they do it. You know, I've been a mentor for 22 years, bro.
Man, listen, man, because the reason why I dragged you on this pod today, right? I said, I looked at Ebro pod. I said, wait, hold on. Bro, I have a pod in like a couple days now. Look.
Shit is rough. I'm trying to tell you. I just hit up shout out to I am Jarrell. He's in the chat. I hit him up on the side because he's going to do a pod today for his Giants pod. But you know, shout out to you know, Queen Steph, you know, with her podcast. They still doing podcasts like every week. I just don't get it. I don't know how they find the time to do it, you know, because like you said, you're changing your jobs and stuff like that. Just me, it's not even having to do nothing with that. Just like, you know, I'm doing more overtime and stuff. My shift changed a little bit too, but I should still find time to do pods. I just don't have time to do it anymore. You know, I would like to do it, you know, but you know, it's other things I got going on and shit, man. So
I gotta drag you out the depths of the cemetery, brother.
For real, man. That's what it feels like. I ain't gonna hold you. That's what it feels like.
I have no problem doing that though, because I feel like Knicks fans didn't get your opinion on certain things yet. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wait, hold on. Ebro, I know Ebro didn't have a live stream yet. Oh yeah, I'm getting the bro on the pod. We gonna have to Diehard State of Mind, episode 95 at this point.
It's so bad. Yo, it's so bad. I don't know if you can see the dust on my hat. I just had been sitting on this desk for so long. I haven't put it on in forever, man. This is dust all over this desk, man. This shit is crazy. So how you doing? Well, before you get started, how you doing otherwise, man? Because you started off with right off with the drinking and stuff, you know. If I could be drink on the job all the time, man. I used to be drinking on the job. You know what I'm saying? We finished our assignment. I fucking hit my little home base, and I'll just be in there freaking lit, man, by myself until it's time to sign out. And that's not a good place to be. But that's all a part of being a man, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to figure out how to cope and get through the shit you got to get through. Because women have their girl talk and they do the things that women do. They got the nail salon, the hair salon. They got their girlfriends gossiping, and so like guys just don't do that. A lot of times, men are just like this is the only time we really get to do shit like that when we talk sports and whatever. When we get together for sports. But other than that, men are just like by themselves trying to figure out how to navigate this world. It's not always easy.
The one thing that has always plagued me was like trying to enter the realm of being a man. You get what I'm saying? So like there's times like I wanted to call you and I'm like, I can't call Eru because the situation that I'm in right now, he probably wasn't in that situation. And you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta figure out certain stuff for yourself, like just being a man. And that's what I'm learning right now. I'm learning. Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, that's why we get together for things like this. When we get a chance to just, just let it out, let this let whatever we're going through, let it go for a second, and then we just talk our Knicks and stuff, sports. I got the Yankees game 1-2 on the side, man. Yankees something else, boy.
Shouts to Volpe, man. Volpe is at the plate right now. Shouts to the Yankees, man.
Yeah.
The score is 2-1. So the Yankees trying to win right now, bro.
Yeah.
So with that said, Eru, we've had a lot of interesting conversations the past couple of years.
Yeah.
This is the first time, Eru, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel so comfortable as a Knicks fan. And I'm gonna tell you why. Even if the bad happens, something good is gonna happen. Right? So Knicks championship or bust, in your opinion? We championship or bust?
Well, bus or bus. We on something right now. I think if the Knicks don't win it this year, we still on that window where the next either this year, next year, or the year after, maybe the next 3 years. This is our time. If we don't do it now, then it's that we missed our time here. You know what I'm saying? So we eventually are going to get into it, but I mean, like that's why you have to keep entertaining ideas of how to make the team better, no matter what it is, because our window is here now. You know what I'm saying? So every time we talk Knicks, it's always going to be about championship.
How long you think the window is for?
Well, I'm gonna say this year, next year, and maybe the year after. We probably got like 3 years. So I mean, whatever happens. Everybody's not gonna make it to the end, but just as long as we make it there, you know what I'm saying? Even look at the Yankees. Like the year before, we had that dude that went to the Mets, right? Now they didn't make the Mets didn't make the playoffs, and the Yankees here they are fighting for their lives again. So Yankees got their little window also. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make moves, whether or not you make a big splash or not. You have to get in the mix and keep trying to get the team better, always.
And with that said, I come to you with the very next question. Are you confident in this team going into the season? And do you like the fact that this Giannis information came out now, right before the season? Because in my opinion, I believe they actually talked about a deal, and I'm definitely going to dissect into the subject that I wrote, but also shouts to Shams who reported that little information today. How do you feel about all of that going on right now?
Well, you got an article coming out that you wrote?
Oh no, I definitely wrote the article already. I'm glad you did that little what we gonna say, segue? I'm glad you did that already. So let me make sure that Knicks fans can see the beautiful article that I wrote about this. But Shout out to all you Knicks fans that's tuning in.
I see the title of it. Crazy,
absolutely. Man. We're waiting for Giannis to tell the Bucks, go F yourself.
Yeah.
At this very moment. Right? If Giannis and the Knicks had a conversation this offseason, and for Knicks fans who's tuning in right now, like obviously you see I got the Substack in the front. Shouts to Shams, my guy, our guy. I'm not gonna say my guy Shams. Our guy Shams put this little information out, today, which I thought was interesting. So I want to get to the first part, right? How do you feel about this information coming out now? And then I guess we could get into the whole Giannis averages this season, last season, this, that, and the third. But I really want to focus on how you feel about the situation right now. Because I didn't see you on a live in about a week.
I haven't done a live since the last time you did a live.
So I had to pull you off the deck.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your comment on this.
Well, first of all, I don't want to, I don't want to just start calling him a bitch straight out the gate, man. But this guy Shams, man, out of nowhere, because allegedly this information came out in August. You know what I'm saying? So, timelines. Mikal signed August 1st, so then they start talking about deals and stuff. So whatever deal the Knicks are gonna would ever make with Giannis, it's not gonna happen now at this point in the offseason because of the way that things work with salaries and stuff. So Mikal, the Knicks signed him in such a way where we could trade him for the trade deadline. So if anything's gonna get done, it's gonna be at the trade deadline. So like I said, if they signed Mikal in the beginning of August and then they had these conversations mid-August or whenever they had it, so that's what they were talking about. They was talking about something that's probably gonna happen. If anything does happen, will be at the trade deadline if they do it. Because the Bucks are trying to show Giannis that they're, that they're trying to win. If they can't win, then that'll escalate. You know what I'm saying? But I just because right now it's like a dead time in the NBA. So if there's a dead time, let's throw some fire on the Knicks barbecue and get the Knicks fans clicking and stuff. That way their algorithms can start kicking again and they can continue to keep their teeth white. That's my opinion on ESPN and Shams and those guys.
Shouts to Shams. Very interesting convo to put up, like at this point of the season.
Yeah.
That's where it gives me like cause to pause. Like I even had to ask my little cousin, like, you want Giannis on the Knicks? Like I had to ask him. And he's like, yeah, I want Giannis on the Knicks. And for content purposes, for the people that's listening through the audio, right? Shout out to everybody listening through the audio. Let me make sure I add this to the screen so people can understand, and make sure you go follow Substacks, SNYK Substack. For 7 straight seasons, Giannis has averaged at least 27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Unprecedented, right? No other player in NBA history has posted those numbers in even 2 consecutive seasons. Over his last 3 years, Giannis has averaged 30.4 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, and 6.5 rebounds. Like, come on. Come on, bro.
He's a beast, man.
Right? No other player in NBA history has ever recorded 3 total seasons of 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists. And even last season, the people talk about Giannis shooting. His mid-range jump shot, 44.2% from mid-range. The notable jump shot jumped from 35.1 the season prior. So that's stuff that you like to see, right? Eurobasket. Giannis averaged 29.8 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 3.6 per game.
He's a beast, bro.
And also, the last and not main thing, I think that's the most important. The most important. I hope Knicks fans, you're looking at the top of this article that I wrote, please. I hope you're looking at the top of the article. Off the court, Giannis Antetokounmpo family has moved to Greece. So his wife is in Greece. If his wife is like, yo, you know what? Can we make sure we get out of the Midwest and all of that? Can we get to the the East? The only airport in America, right? Shouts to Kevin O'Connor, because I got this information from Kevin O'Connor, so I want to share it with you, Hero. Mm-hmm. The only U.S. airport with daily, year-round direct flights to and from Athens is Newark, New Jersey. That's the only airport. You want to say from America. So that's the only airport. And his wife is saying, hey, I want to see you during the season. After this year, I wholeheartedly believe Giannis will be a Knick. The Karl-Anthony Towns stuff, the Jalen Brunson stuff, the Mikal Bridges stuff. Everything happened a year or two prior and then went through. Eru, what do you say there?
I kind of agree with it, just like you said with the Cat. That's what I was gonna say, because they've been talking about Cat coming to the Knicks for the longest. Even Brunson, they've been talking. It was like been talking about it. So this is something that's been lurking too. So if this fuel this fire, you know what I'm saying. So, what I would say though with the Giannis thing is, like, just look at what's happening with the Knicks now. I'm just listening to what Mike Brown has been saying. Like, every time they ask him about Cat, oh, we're gonna put Cat all around the court. We don't know if he's going to be power forward or center. Yeah, I know Cat is a little frustrated because he's trying to figure out his role. So he's just throwing little stuff out there because the Knicks are trying to figure out how to fit Cat in the system or whatever. So that's all going to play out too. That's why I don't really because I see people reacting to this in such a way where people are like pissed off that the Knicks didn't make the move and stuff like that. Oh, if we had the draft picks, I don't think it's that simple with the reason why we didn't get them in August because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're capped out. And there's a lot of little things going on with the Knicks that we would have to fix in order to get things the way that we want it. But I just think that the Knicks have a rebounding problem. I think if Giannis came here, that would help out also. So so a couple little things that we have to sort out in season that when the time comes that it will be like blatant that this is something that we should do. And I think the Bucks on their end as well, because trading for Giannis, they're gonna get a bag back. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of draft picks or whatever, they're gonna get players back too, just because of the salary. You know what I'm saying? So that they're still gonna be decent at whatever package that they get from the Knicks. So it's like a two-way thing here,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm trying to go to the chats right now. Let me start from the top pause, just to make sure everybody felt. I am Jarrell. Salute to all the diehards. Jarrell, appreciate you, brother. We got Daniel. Happy Tuesday. Hello, everybody. Hello to you too, brother. I got the time stone. Jarrell, I'm trying. Thanos is already dead. According to.
I have a question.
You got a question?
I have a question.
What is your question?
What do you think is the probability of the Knicks going to at least the Eastern Conference Finals?
The probability of the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
As is pretty high, I think.
I think I give them 70%.
Okay. So
I give them 70% because Tatum hurt. So I give them an extra percent.
What's good, bro?
Where you good?
Chilling.
Yo, everybody in the chat trying to give a percentage of, the Knicks score. I give them 70% though. I give them 70. Yeah. Because we're already.
You guys.
Halliburton hurt. Yeah. And, the East is in flux right now. Every single team.
East is up in the air. I think it's only Celtics and Pacers?
No. Both teams got injuries.
Yeah,
Competitive?
Ask them, who do you think is competitive on the East?
Orlando, definitely. Orlando, right?
I got Orlando on there. I like the Raptors.
Raptors great.
I like the Raptors too. I like the fact that quickly he came off an injury, a baseball injury. He had Tommy John surgery or some dumbass.
Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, he had a stupid injury, bro. It was a
basketball injury. Tommy John is an elbow injury.
Oh, it was an elbow. Yeah, he had a baseball injury. Like, it was so out of this world when I read it. I'm like, Nah, not normal people get that, but I like, the Raptors, the Detroit Pistons, Orlando, obviously. Secretly, I like Indiana a little bit, but I like Indiana to be a top 6 to 10 seed.
Yeah.
The same way I feel about Miami. I really don't respect Miami like that. And
Miami been trying to make trades too. They trying to gut their roster out. Pat Riley's a motherfucker too, man. Pat Riley got his eye on the prize too. He might end up getting Giannis. You never know.
Giannis, Pat Riley cooked. He hasn't gotten a superstar in a decade.
Yeah, but he been in the finals like twice, right? Damn near, like once. Almost got there another time.
The shoulda, coulda, woulda attitude should have died a long time ago.
Yeah, but he shouldn't even been there. Even though it was the bubble when they went to the finals, they shouldn't even had no chance to get there. But somehow his teams always get there.
The Knicks should never been there in '99. Same thing.
True.
I respect the fact that they had that moment, but at the same time, it's like, okay,
that's sports. You always got to give yourself a opportunity to do something, man. You can't just sit on your hands and hopefully somebody brings you somewhere. That's why I'm glad the Knicks made that move for got rid of Tom Thibodeau and got Mike in here. I love everything that he's saying. What you think about Mike so far?
I love Mike Brown, man.
He talks a lot.
Yeah, man.
I told you. I'm telling all the business. Motherfucker telling everything, man.
Yo, Tibbs. I told you how I felt about Tibbs, bro. Once Tibbs said, I put in Evan Fournier for Cam Reddish due to size, I would never believe him as a coach again. Like, I was done with him at that moment.
Yeah, but basketball is basketball. You know what I'm saying? Just watching it, you don't need to be an expert. Because I mean, even like I say, during the playoffs, whatever, I got a chance to hang out with my wife a couple times. She watched the game with me, and she's looking at it like, yo, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that don't watch basketball as much as we do. She knows the game, but she doesn't watch it because she don't want to get involved like how we get involved. But just her watching one game, and then she watched another game, she's like, yo, why do Knicks keep doing the same fucking thing? You know what I'm saying? So, that I'm just glad those conversations are going to be done. So I think Mike, one thing I think is interesting, I think is that, Mike Brown has certain philosophies that the Knicks are not, if they don't start doing it, he's going to start flipping out. I think that's going to be interesting to see.
For sure. Prime example, Jalen Brunson, love you. I don't need 10 shots from you. Yeah. While Mikal Bridges is hot and OG is hot. Little stuff like that irks me. And I hope it irks Mike Brown.
Well, that offense, the way that they run the offense is not like how Tom Thibodeau get it. Tom Thibodeau would get it to the point where the ball always came back to Brunson. Now Brunson's standing on the island. They don't do that no more, or they're trying to get, switched on double teams and stuff like that. Now the ball is constantly moving and players are moving too. So we're definitely not doing the same thing that we were doing last year, or not even last year, the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a big learning curve for a lot of our players. Not
even close. With that said, the 10 shots that Jalen Brunson took, every single shot was in the flow of the offense. Yeah. It wasn't an ISO. I rarely see ISO with the Knicks now.
Yeah, there's been no ISOs, to tell you the truth. The only person that I could think of, just especially from highlights, is just like Deuce. Deuce got caught a couple times where he had to do something to get the shot up. He was able to make the shots and stuff. But outside of the other guys, everybody else had to get it within the offense. So that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope for us, because Knicks fans are gonna get to learn, what it is to have an offense, because we were losing up until we got Tom Thibodeau. Once we got Tom Thibodeau, he organized us and changed the culture and stuff like that. So then people think they know what they're watching because the Knicks are winning. Last year I thought it was the worst season the Knicks had, even though we were winning. Because we used to we had to come back almost every night. Which doesn't tell you that that's a well-coached team. It just tells you that the talent is high. So now that this offense that we have is here, people are going to get to learn the game again. Because this is not like playing in Kingdom or playing in Gershwin Park somewhere. This is like a professional basketball team where they there's going to be options, movement. You know what I'm saying? There has to be like a strategy to win. You know what I'm saying? I think we finally have that. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
This is such a shift in everything.
Yeah.
You got a new coach the first time in like 5-6 years, right? And also like the philosophy. Every single time I seen a big get the ball at the top of the court, somebody cut and the big is required to pass the ball. Another thing, Mitchell Robinson. Love Mitchell Robinson, right? That's my guy. Eru, what is the one beef I had when it came to people dissing Mitch? I said nobody passes him the ball.
Yeah.
Nobody. No, they don't throw him lobs. They don't see him. Jalen Brunson a dribble, and he won't pass the ball at the pick and roll play. This is the most I've ever seen Mitch used, even at the top of the key.
That's coaching. Right?
Imagine Giannis there. They're calling the Towns.
I was trying to hold my tongue with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like Mitchell Robinson has been getting stuck at the top of the key, having to do shit now. You know what I'm saying? Having to pass. Yeah. There was a couple times where he was standing at the top of the key where he could have easily made a cut to the basket. A pass on a cutter to the basket, but missed him because he just doesn't. He never was asked to do that. But Giannis at the top of the key he's going to make a play. So that's another reason why you will bring a Giannis here. Not because you're going to give him the ball and just make him go ISO. That's the mentality of people when they say, "Oh, you want to get Giannis because you want him to be the savior." No, that's not the case. If you look at how the Knicks are playing, you put Giannis in Mitch's spot. Now you're going to see things happen offensively. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important, man.
I never loved that whole thing of you're just going to put the ball in one player's hands and he's just going to win. I'm under the premise that in today's NBA, right, that's just me, you need a couple of players in order to win. And according to Shams, right, Shams' article, which I definitely put the link inside of the article, shouts to Substack, this article today on ESPN, Milwaukee General Manager John Horst, bold offseason moves has done little to fully reassure Antetokounmpo. At some point, if you think you're going to get Miles Turner and you think you announcing my starting point guard is Kevin Porter Jr., is going to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo, I had another thing coming for you. Another thing as well, shout out to Billy, man, my OG, right? My OG. It was also reported today, which was very interesting to me. This was the most interesting thing to me. So anything, shouts to anybody who's reading the Substack right now. Make sure you go to the Substack, man, SNYK Substack, SNYK Substack, you type it in. Giannis was not consulted when the Milwaukee Bucks got Miles Turner. That was reported. That was definitely reported, right? Just to read something for you guys real quick. Executive of the Year in 2019 made a dramatic decision this summer to waive and stretch Damian Lillard's contract in order to clear cap space to sign Miles Turner from Indiana. The financial cost was steep. Turner received a 4-year, $108 million contract, while the Bucks will absorb $113 million in dead money from Damian Lillard's deal over the next 5 seasons. The Bucks' decision to stretch Damian Lillard's contract and bring in Miles Turner was supposed to be a statement to Giannis, right? And anybody who's not a drug abuser, who knows basketball, who knows anything, no, if you got to play of Giannis caliber, mother effer, you better bring in Len Bias. Right? You know what I'm saying?
You got to bring Len Bias from the dead, for real.
I'll be Len Bias. Knock on wood. But
Yeah,
that's what people was bringing. Go
yeah,
ahead.
everything you said just sound like a bunch of bullshit. Like, so you cleared the cap space just to get Miles Turner. That reminds me of like when the Knicks amnesty what Chauncey just so we could sign what's the center?
Yeah.
What was this? I forgot the fucking center's name.
No, we
Tyson
amnesty
Chandler.
Chauncey and signed Chauncey again, I believe.
No, Tyson Chandler.
Well, we supposed to amnesty Tyson Chandler and sign Chris Paul. That was the original plan. The Knicks amnesty, was it Tyson Chandler?
Yeah, I think we amnesty Chauncey Billups, and then I think that's how we got Tyson Chandler.
And we resigned Chauncey Billups again.
No, Chauncey Billups never came back. That was it.
No, we amnestied him, and I believe we signed him again. It was somebody else we released and re-signed again at that moment in time. I just can't think of the person right now.
It was what's the name? Felton. We got Felton.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. That's the Raymond Cohen.
But I mean, that doesn't make no sense because I mean, Miles Turner's not no world beater, So I mean, they brought him to the team. Okay, I mean, him next to Giannis sounds nice, but the next biggest player that they got as far as guards, like you mentioned, Kevin Porter Jr. is the other one is Cole Anthony. That was the guy, the big person that they added to the roster, to for the backcourt. I'm looking at their players now. They don't have any guards. They don't have any point guards. They're just Kevin Porter. The other one that I see is Cole Anthony. So that's who you added to the backcourt to make Giannis stay. That's poor management right there.
Horrific poor management. And if you're Giannis, you see Jalen Brunson over there in New York.
In my opinion, the Bucks fucked up because I mean, as soon as they amnestied, Damian Lillard, they stretched his contract. Whatever they did to his contract, to clear that space and stuff.
Yeah, they stretched that contract to get Miles Turner, basically.
Yeah, they should have not tried to get Miles Turner. They should have just said, okay, well, we're done. And Giannis, where would you like to go? And then they should have traded him. That's what they should have done. Because all they did was prolong the inevitable. But now they're gonna have Miles Turner on the roster for no reason. They should have just started over. Because everything else on the roster suggested they should start over.
They can't start over. I'm gonna give you an interesting nugget that I found out today again. The Hawks own their pick.
Yep. There you go. Well.
So when it comes to the Knicks, right? And I say to you, and I say to Nick, man, yo, look, listen. They don't need Cat. They got Miles Turner, homie.
Well, that sounds like something the Knicks would have done back in the days,
Absolutely.
Crazy.
What they do need, though, they're gonna need a small forward, right? They're gonna need a small forward.
They already got one. His name is Thanasis, right? They got Thanasis Antetokounmpo. He's their small forward. Jesus Christ. They went and signed Amir Coffey. They got Amir Coffey. Who else they got? They got nobody else. Tareem Prince. Man, I'm talking all that junk, but watch them make it to the finals after all the shit we just said.
Yo, that's that Knicks talk you doing.
Yeah.
That Knicks, I don't want to believe in everything that's going on right now, what you doing. That's what you're doing, right? Because ain't no way you Giannis and you think you're going to win with Bobby Portis, Miles Turner, Cole Anthony. and I think
Kevin Porter wasn't even in the league a couple years ago. Kevin Porter, right? Wasn't he out because of some wild shit?
He shouldn't even be in the league now.
Yeah. They got him in there. He's penciled in to be probably the starting point guard, right? Like you said.
Absolutely. He definitely was announced to be the starting point guard, I believe 2 days ago.
That's bugged out, man.
Giannis is not going to win over there. And I'm just under the premise. And shout out to, my guy Tony. Because Tony, he's a Karl-Anthony Towns hater. So I can't even talk to him realistically about Karl-Anthony Towns. It's just not a fun conversation for me. So shout out to Tony. But
who Tony? Tony from Twitter, right?
Yeah. Shout
out
to yeah, man. If you get Giannis, Your first order of business is you have a 30 to 31-year-old grown ass man. And when you got a guy like Giannis, I want to make sure that I get some of the stats right with this young man. You go get a guy like Giannis. First of all, the past regular season with Giannis, he averaged 30.4 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists.
Crazy.
The man shot 60.1% from the field. Giannis is insane, bro. 67 games in the regular season. In the playoffs, he averaged 33.4 points, 15.4 rebounds per game, and 6.6 per game.
Sheesh. That's accounting for a lot of possessions.
Giannis,
if he's not scoring, somebody else is he's giving up, he's trying to get 12 points worth of assists from assists, and then like I said, rebounds is possession. So he's controlling 15 possessions. That's crazy.
Yo, that is super insane, bro. 2 MVPs, Finals MVP, NBA championship, 9-time All-Star, 8 All-NBA honors, 5 All-NBA nods. Giannis leads the Bucks right now in NBA history. He's first in points. He's first in assists. And we're just talking about he's first in blocks. He's first in rebounds. He's first in steals. I don't want the Knicks to miss out on a point where a guy of this magnitude wants to come here. And it's also noted that on October 1st, 2026, Giannis is eligible for a 4-year, $275 million contract extension, right? If I'm Giannis, listen, brother, your wife loved New York. It was reported today that she loves New York. It was also reported today, Eru, funny interesting. You know, New York is the only place in America where they have straight flights to Greece.
Yeah,
to where his mom and child live. So,
and you can get falafel on every street corner in New York City. How about that? You want some white sauce and get some tahini and all that shit? You know what I mean? You can get that anywhere in New York. So he's right at home. They got whole sections in New York. They just got Greek people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I'm just.
Yo, see what Eddie Presley said? He said, not even at the deadline, you got to do it now. So I mean, that's another freaking if you want to talk about that, that's another bag of worms. Because I would trade, because I mean, the Knicks have a lot of guys that do the same thing. We have it's not just about, well, we got to trade salary. That's one thing. We got to trade salary, but we have guys on the roster that can do what other guys do. You know what I'm saying? And we can move the roster around. And then also too, there's people sitting in free agency, that are veterans that we could pick up to fill spots as well. So, we could do anything we want. But the ball is really in Giannis's court. Giannis is a gentleman, because that's another factor on his end too. He has to be the one to say, listen, I don't want to be here. Fuck you guys. You know what I'm saying? He would have to just be like that. You know what I'm saying? In order to force their hand. But he's a gentleman. He doesn't want to embarrass their organization and stuff. But, if we wanted him, we can get him many different ways. You know what I'm saying? That we don't have to wait for Mikal Bridges to get eligible.
It's crazy because Eddie, I love you, Eddie. Shout out to my guy, Eddie, man. Shout out to the Mets fans. I know you went through a devastating season. But shout out to the Mets fans.
Yeah.
What up, State? What up, Eru? Good shit, fam. Y'all appreciate you. You have to trade for Giannis now, not at the deadline. So Eddie, I'm gonna throw this at you, and this is the only reason why I don't think the Bucks will not trade Giannis now. The Bucks have a pick swap. Their pick swap is with the Hawks, right? So They even if they wanted to trade Giannis right now and tank, you're tanking for the Hawks.
Yeah.
So you can't trade him right now. So
Well, not traded, not in a tank though. You know.
Yeah, not in the tank. I agree, but he doesn't have the most leverage he would have as opposed to next summer. Now, next summer, right? Once again, the Bucks, I believe they control their 2026, 2027 pick. I don't know, but I need to check on it. I think back-to-back seasons, the Hawks control their pick. But if they control their pick in 2026, 2027, I believe wholeheartedly Giannis will be able to choose where he want to go. And I think at the end of the day, that Shams report was right. Like once Leon Rose threw a nugget out there, and I want to ask you about Leon Rose really for the past couple of years. They did it with Brunson, right? We heard about Brunson back during COVID. Like it was 2 years before, like, right? We heard about Brunson. We've been hearing about Karl Anthony Towns for about 3-4 years.
Yeah, basically since Thibodeau got there.
We've been hearing about Mikal Bridges before we traded for him. As soon as Mikal got here, that was 3 years. Like the whole next 2 years, Mikal gonna be at Mikal. OG, there was a report that summer that the Knicks was interested in OG before he even got to the point where the Knicks traded RJ quickly for OG. So everybody that Leon Rose got, he was linked to.
Right.
How do you feel about me saying when it comes to Giannis, it's not a matter of if it's a matter of when.
Yeah, it's definitely a matter of when, definitely. You know, but you know, is this work to be done? You know, so that's why I'm more like into waiting. You know what I'm saying? What, like waiting to the trade deadline, I think will be good. Because I mean, I wanted to throw this in there too. You know, the only thing I can really think of in this similar situation was when Detroit traded for Rasheed Wallace. You know, the Pistons were actually a functional team. They were going to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Then they put a trade together, and because I mean, you know, that was a weird thing too, because Rasheed got traded to Atlanta. And then Atlanta was able to trade him to Detroit, which I still don't understand those rules at the time that you were able to trade somebody and then trade him again. You know, so anyway, that's no here nor there. But you know, that was a big trade where Detroit was still a playoff team and they made a big trade and they went and got Rasheed Wallace. So that was a trade deadline deal. You know, so that's the only example I could really think of at the moment that they would get such higher caliber player to change their team in such a way like that, you know, to for them to make that championship run. So I mean, if it came down to it, the Knicks have to do the work, do the work or whatever, and that way they can know for sure that Giannis is the guy, and then they'll feel comfortable making whatever trade they need to make to get him here, you know. And I think the Bucks wouldn't mind because, like I said, salary wise, he makes 54 this year, 60. Just give me 58 and then 62. So he makes salary. So we're gonna be giving salary to this team in order to make it work, you know.
So what I like to do for Knicks fans, let's X out of this. Let's see what Shams had to say realistically. Oh God!
Fascinating story in the NBA. Shams Charania reporting that the Bucks spoke to the Knicks this summer about a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. Neither team was all in on a deal, but they did talk after Giannis said he wants to win a championship and questioned whether Milwaukee had what it took to do so. So let's bring in our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania. So Shams,
yo, real quick, I'm gonna bring this back to some hood talk. What the Knicks and Bucks did, they slap box. They slap boxing it.
But you know, it's 2025, man. So you know, it's not like they're like sitting, like back in the days, they sit in the room where everybody's sitting in the room and they got like a speakerphone going and hey guys, tell me what you're gonna do. You know, it's not like that now. You know, nowadays you can FaceTime people and there's group chats and stuff. There's group chats at the high levels too. You know what I'm saying? So you can send messages to people in a different way that they did in the past. So people are thinking about it the old way, like they're sitting down, they're actually, you know, like going back and forth negotiating. No, I just think it was just a spirited back and forth talk. You know, like you know, so if you was to trade him, what would you give us? All right, cool, right? So all right, well, all right, good talking to you, bro. And that's it. I think that's what I think happened. I don't think it was something so formal, you know, that people think. I think things are much more lax the way teams do business now.
I think it was lax depending on how you take it. And here's some of these comments right here. Obviously, Eddie, shouts out our guy Eddie. After Mets, yeah, bro. I know it's tough for you, bro. A pick swap is protected. That pick swap is protected, bro. That's why, like, there's literally no incentive for the Bucks to trade Giannis this season. Next summer, though, oh yeah. The only way the Bucks trade the Knicks Giannis during the season, this season, they would have to start out horrible. 1, 2, Giannis fake an injury, and then he's out for a minute, and then 3, it'll come out randomly one day. Well, Giannis will only re-sign with the Knicks. So any other team that's reported trying to trade for Giannis told them, do not trade for me because I will not be re-signing with you for 2 years. So if you give up assets for me, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And you know, that's how that goes. You know.
Well, I see Eddie Presley was talking about, you know, the chemistry thing. I agree with that. You know, but you know, the guys are veterans, you know. Same thing with the Rasheed Wallace trade. You know, guys were veterans. And as soon as Rasheed got there, the chemistry just kicked right in. And then the guys went on to win the championship. So you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like the team will have to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Once you do the work and you understand what you're missing, once you make a trade, you're not making the trade where like, oh shit, we just made a trade. What the fuck are we gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? It's like the Knicks are gonna have to play a certain way where they know if they do make a trade that Giannis could fit in here. This is what he's gonna do when he gets here. You know what I'm saying? But I do get the argument too. I see Nostalgia Nikki says OG Mitch and Kolick and picks for Giannis. I hate the and picks though. You know, because you know, and picks, and pick swaps. That I hate those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have to match salary. The picks is just added. It's like adding sprinkles to, you know, to a fucking Sunday. You know what I'm saying? They don't really do nothing. You just like sprinkles. You know, that's you know that's what it is to me. But you have to match salary. So I mean, you know, for shits and giggles, OG Mitch and Kolick, that's a decent deal. You know what I'm saying? For Giannis at this point, you maybe you add like, because the Knicks do have movable picks, you know, so you trade them for some future picks, and that's the end of that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a decent deal for Giannis, especially if Giannis won't accept a trade nowhere else. You know, you mean to tell me you got OG and Mitch and a young Kolick, you know, because they don't have a point guard. Bucks don't have a point guard, so getting Kolick, that sounds like a good idea.
Kolick is from that area too.
Oh, word up. Yeah.
Word from Northern. What I will say to that deal is I'm not trying to give up. So when it comes to Giannis, you got to understand, like, he's 30 going on 31.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give up Karl-Anthony Towns. Right? Karl-Anthony Towns, love you. I know you about to make $60 million a couple of years. You got to lower that. You got to lower that. Especially if you want to, if Cat want to retire a Nick, Eru, he's going to take less than $60 million. He should take less than $50 million. If you want to retire,
greatest shooter of all time, though, the greatest big man shooter of all time.
You want to win a championship? You gonna win? What is the game? You're gonna get a lot of money now. That's cool. You can make your money on the back end if you take less and you say, hey, I want to play with Giannis and Brunson for the next 3 years, for the next 4 years. Because Brunson going to retire. He's going to have to, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that money on the back end, the Pablo Torre, man, he going to get in his ass about that shit.
Oh, no, we don't do that in New York, baby. We don't do that in New York, baby. He would have got paid off already before the story even when it came out.
Yeah, man, fuck Pablo Torre, man, fucking piece of shit. You know how many, like, in sports, everybody knows that they did that. You know that's the whole point of having a big market. Like, you know, there's many opportunities in a big market to make money off the books. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the whole point of it. You know what I'm saying? For him to blow that up like he did something, you know, and then for the fact that people even talking about it, he's a fucking piece of shit, man. Fuck that guy.
So interesting question for you. You're a little older than me. So in history, any sport, where do you think guy got an underhand deal? He was like, yo, come on. Like any sport.
It's been plenty of times, man. You know that you know, I mean, you know, throughout the talking, they were talking about Golden State. I don't know what the hell was not Golden State, Minnesota when with Joe what's it name?
Joe Smith. Yeah. They got
I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking highly of Joe Smith. Joe Smith had won like rookie of the year, whatever he did, you know, so he had the talent, but they really just like pissed away their you know, good few years over Joe Johnson, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's always been stuff like, let's say like to make Ewing stay, you know, they'll give him little side deals and stuff like that, or whoever else you could think of, man, you know, out there. There's always been something on the side, especially the Lakers too. The Lakers, you know, how do they always end up with like all these good players? You know, like there's got to be some side stuff, you know, happening, you know, to make these trades go through or to make these players constantly find their way to the Lakers. You know, so I mean, you know, things always happen out there. You know, some things can't even be explained of why things happen. You know.
Yo, bro, that Joe Smith was definitely an under the table deal. Timberwolves tried to get over, and they tried to tell him, "All right, take less than what you're supposed to get. Like, take the qualifying offer,
right?
Take this $3.5 million for this next season, and then the season after, we're gonna pay you your real contract." NBA
Jordan though. Look at Michael Jordan. For the longest, Michael Jordan was the best player in the NBA, and it also wasn't one of the highest paid players until the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? So there had to been some side deals with that. How could you keep Michael Jordan all those years and he's severely underpaid the whole time? Crazy.
So what I want to do, hold on, let's get to this little Giannis stuff real quick. I want to make sure that everybody can, hold on, let me put share screen. Oh, I don't even need to do that. All right. Shams, I got what you got for Knicks fans? What you got for Knicks fans, baby?
What exactly happened over the summer between Giannis and the Bucks that led to him feeling unsettled about his future in Milwaukee?
Christine, sources told me that the New York Knicks emerged as the only team that Giannis Antetokounmpo wanted to play for if the Bucks were willing to oblige with the trade. I was told the Knicks even had an exclusive negotiating window over multiple weeks in August, and that's when Leon Rose, the Knicks president, called John Horst, the general manager of the Bucks, and the sides had multiple conversations. Offers were made, but there are two sides to this. The Bucks believe the Knicks simply did not offer enough to continue those trade conversations. The Knicks felt that the Bucks were never really serious about making a deal here. At the end of the day, though, the Knicks felt like the Bucks just wanted to continue to see, can we win with Giannis Antetokounmpo? They certainly want to, and that's what John Horst, the general manager, has sold Giannis Antetokounmpo on. But sources told me Giannis Antetokounmpo in a face-to-face meeting in late July aired his level of concern about this Bucks team moving forward. So no trade, but the Knicks certainly had some level of a window in August.
Yeah, and we saw him on streams talking about whether or not he was going to play for the Bucks moving forward. Now we're 15 days before the Bucks season opener. Where do things go from here with Giannis?
Christine, I'm told that Giannis Antetokounmpo will keep his options open going into the NBA season, seeing the league's landscape and really the first quarter of the Bucks season and the NBA season at large. His agent, Alex Saratzis at Octagon, he has been fielding rampant interest in Giannis Antetokounmpo since the May NBA draft combine. This is still a situation that he's going to be dealing with. Giannis Antetokounmpo
all this shit just sounds like me and you talking. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like anything that's solid. It just sounds like me and you talking. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he's been getting interest since the combine. Okay, because that's when the season was over. You know what I'm saying? That's when the offseason started. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they were talking in August, and you know the Knicks said, "Hey, how about you give me this?" And then the Bucks was like, "Oh, I don't think you're very serious, man. Get the fuck out of here." You know what I'm saying? It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, these guys get paid for the bullshit. They get paid to report on bullshit because there's nothing else to talk about. But like they're very careful not saying that it's their opinion. because it really is most of it is just his opinion, and then you can hide by your opinion by saying my sources say. You know what I'm saying? If you say, hey, yo, Ebru, yo, my sources say, you know what I'm saying, and then you know, like, who's your fucking sources? You know what I mean? So I mean, not 9 times out of 10, these guys are completely wrong on what they say. And then when the actual deal happens and whatever, then they just report it. You know, they don't say, oh yeah, we was fucking wrong before. You know what I'm saying? With all the stuff we were saying, and then the way that we said it was wrong. You know, now look at this. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, because like take a look at how people received it. A lot of people were pissed off. Oh, come on, man. You mean to tell me the Knicks could have gotten a Giannis in August? That's not what I heard, but that's what you heard. You know, and then that's what starts to swirl. You know, all of a sudden now the Knicks are wrong. The Knicks are the ones that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Knicks didn't even do nothing. You know, according to this report, nothing happened. It's just speculation. You know what I'm saying? How do you know what people were saying over the phone? If they were even talked on the phone, you know what I'm saying? It could have been on Skype or some shit. I don't know, you know, but how do you know what people were saying? You know, this is weird to me. I don't know, man.
Super weird. Hold on. If you're a Yankee fan, you don't want to see this next next live.
Yeah,
you know, the Blue Jays is up 6-3, man.
Top of the fourth. You know, baseball is funny because you know the whole game could change over one swing of the bat. You know, so that's baseball.
That's definitely true. Making sure I keep y'all, you know, we keep y'all up to date with this whole baseball thing.
Yeah,
I really wanted to continue with the Joe Smith stuff. I felt like that's very important for Knicks fans to even like view. Whoa. Mama, I don't really care about seeing the picture, whatever. But let me share this to the screen with you guys. So what you were talking about, you know, back in the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves had a deal, right? So David Stern, and this article was written by Jeffrey Denberg. Shout out to Jeffrey Denberg. Appreciate you. So David Stern handed the Minnesota Timberwolves the death penalty Wednesday afternoon. So this was written back in the day, right? That's the victory for 28 other teams in the NBA, right? The team that blatantly cheated by signing Joe Smith to a secret contract, you know, suffered a devastating blow with the loss of 5 first-round draft picks and $3.5 million fine. The voiding of Smith deals to the Timberwolves. Let me get this straight. Now, let me bring this back to me. Imagine a team getting fined 5 first-round picks while you have Kevin Garnett, the big ticket on this problem. That's why he left. But I didn't realize that till I got older, Ebru. I swear to God. Didn't understand it at the time. And let's continue here. So shout out to you Knicks fans who's tuning in. Appreciate you guys. She's trying to illustrate this point. Right? $3.5 million fine. And the voiding of Smith deals with the Timberwolves. Right? So he also wrote, and Stern isn't through yet. In very short order, you can expect Stern is going to slap owner Greg Taylor and Vice President Basketball Operations Kevin McHale for a full year because that's the most he can do under the rules. They deserve it. They split in the face of the league. They spit in the face of the league and their 28 partners by breaking the rules and depriving everybody else at a fair chance to land the services of a pretty good player that they eventually wanted to pay him $80 million or so. Speaks to their judgment as basketball people. I say that to say this. Basketball, football, soccer, every single professional sport deals with something illegal under the table. I think it's a matter of if I get caught in it. That's why the light went dark. I'm gonna keep it. No, don't turn back on.
There's divine intervention just now, right?
That was God trying to enlighten the room real quick.
That was David Stern from behind the grave. Shit.
But how do you feel about that, though?
You know, I think it's just about that's how sports is, man. You know, that's how sports is. There's always been something. You know, there's always been a question of you know, how do things get done? You know, how do people something to incentivize certain things. You know, there's a reason why like the NBA made a rule where guys have to do revenue sharing and stuff like that because there's just too much money, underneath the table. So instead of putting the money under the table, you know, with revenue sharing, they just put that money, on top of the table. You know what I'm saying? But these teams still have so much bread, you know, like like the dude on the Clippers, he's like a billionaire. He owns so much stuff that they can easily make LLCs and stuff like that. And but they were so ignorant with it though. The LLC, they put the abbreviation of Kawhi Leonard's name and stuff in it. Like they didn't even try to hide it, so that's what makes it even worse. You know what I'm saying? But I'm quite sure if you start digging through every sports team's books, you're gonna see stuff. Because there's certain teams that say like, why do they keep signing these guys, or why do they do this? Why do they sign certain players? Why do certain players want to stay in a certain city and they don't want to leave? Because they probably have stuff under the table. If anybody had time to dig, you know what I'm saying? Like this dude in right now this with the Portland Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant, whatever his name is.
Yes.
Like why does he want to stay in Portland for he this during his prime years of his career, he keeps signing over there, and for some reason they don't want to get rid of him. Because I'm quite sure they probably tied up and he has like money tied up probably. If you dig, why the fuck does he want to stay in Portland?
It's crazy because they asked, I think they're trying to get him out of there, but they're trying to be respectful about it. They definitely asked Jeremy Grant how he felt about coming off the bench. Like he's making 30 plus, he's making $70+ million, bro. Do not talk to me about coming off the bench for anybody who's not that nice, bro. And love Denny Avia, but Jeremy Grant is probably a player who feel like I sold my oats, bro. I played in the NBA for a couple of years, bro. Like I deserve the start. Unless the player that's starting ahead of me is like,
Well, Grant is trash now, man. He's definitely past his prime. His numbers are way down compared to where, what brought him to Portland to begin with. He was averaging like 20 something. Now he averaged 14 last year. So he's starting to go down.
I think it's all injury. Jeremy Grant would be the perfect. The Knicks can't get him if he's bought out, by the way. So let me make that clear. Do the first apron rules, right? Any player that's bought out and he was making on his original salary more than the mid-level exemption, and I believe the mid-level exemption is about $12.5 million. Somebody could fact check me on it. But any player that's making more than that when they get bought out, we can't get him because we're in the first apron. So it's irrelevant.
He's trashed down with, man. He averaged like 3 rebounds per game. I don't even know, why he was such a sought after player. Defensively, he was supposed to be so good, but I've seen him get scraped by a lot of people. So he's not all that great of a defensive player. You
seen him in Denver? He messed up. I think but he had to go get the money.
Yeah.
I gotta go get this 100 mil, God.
He was in Denver, but still, like the stats, maybe athletically he could move and he could shoot the three, I guess, but rebounding wise, he's worse than OG and McHale. He's just about the same as them, really. 4.5. He topped out as the most. Well, I see 5.2 one year, but the next one was 4.5 and 4.1, 4.6 rebounds. The guy don't rebound, and he averages like 35 minutes, 33 minutes per game. I don't know.
No, man. Shout out to Jeremy Grant.
Good basketball player. Fuck him and his fucking father and his uncle. Fuck all the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Former Chicago Bull. Well, his father was the other one, the other Grant, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about this team, man? What do you think the Knicks are going? What do you think the Knicks are going this year?
They better go to the finals. They better go win a chip.
From what you see so far, do you think the Knicks are on the right path to getting there?
Yeah, they are. They are. They just gotta go take it day by day, and they gotta keep it simple, right? Like, don't do too much. This is the first season of Mike Brown, so I think that's very important to understand. And I think they'll be fine, bro. It's just that little Giannis Antetokounmpo cloud is hanging over their head now. So, like, if the Knicks don't get to the finals and win, cool. You're going to get Giannis.
Well, that's the media bullshit. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's just so convenient that it's planted now. So they waited to Abu Dhabi pass. You know, let the Knicks have Abu Dhabi. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as they finish with that, now they're flying back and stuff. So now they say, oh, while they're on the flight, pow, let me hit you with this shit. You know what I'm saying? To put the pressure on there. So once the players are ready to start talking about it, because they talked to Mike Brown. I don't think anybody else talked about it, but the microphone's going to be hot soon. You know, they're going to be asking about Giannis and stuff like that. So that's really just the media, just to put the pressure on the Knicks, because there was no pressure. You know what I'm saying? Up until now, and that they were talking about Giannis now. So
it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen too, man. But
it's not an if. It's about when at this moment in time. So I'm not going to really like. This is the only time I'm really going to ask you about it too. After this talk,
it's definitely worth talking about, though. It's something that even without Shams making that report, everybody knows that the writing is on the wall with Giannis. It was not like a surprise. You're like, oh wow, did you see what Shams said? No, Sam has just saying what anybody that follows sports is going to say. Look at what's happening with the Bucks. If they don't win, he's going to want out. You know, and what other team would he want to go to besides the Bucks, the Knicks? You know, there's always been that talk there. You know, because the Knicks are not only are we right now we're relevant, but we're also New York. You know, you want to raise your family. He has kids. He's still knocking up his wife. He said he still want another one. You know what I'm saying? So you already made the connection with the airport to Greece and stuff. So I mean, it's like a perfect place for him to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Shams didn't just like open like something. Wow, I didn't have no idea. We always been talking about this. So
shouts to Shams, man. Shouts to Shams. Appreciate you, Shams.
And fuck you, Shams. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that dude. This guy, the fucking Wojnarowski was the guy. Wojnarowski is the one that went and changed his thing. So now Shams is trying to take over what Wojnarowski was doing. Before Wojnarowski quit, Shams was just on the sidelines waiting for somebody to give him some information. Now that Woj is not there, now he's the guy now. Just garbage, man. Yeah, so that's what I got to say about Shams, man. Fuck Shams, bro. You know what I'm saying? And give Eddie Presley the freaking job. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Presley would do a better job, dropping trade news and stuff like that. Let State do that. You know what I'm saying? Shams is just the figurehead, green room residue. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got this is what we're talking about in the green room. Oh, Shams, this is what we need you to say. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, comb your hair to the left, put some mousse in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Shape up your mustache and go talk some shit on TV. You know what I'm saying, man? Fuck them guys, man. My bad.
Shout out to Shams, man. Shout out to Shams.
Unless you want, trying to get Shams on the show or something like that,
Shit, I wish, man. Shouts like I Shams. These last couple of comments, let me, Bodega, Dow State, man. Shit, yeah, man. Shout out to you, Bodega. Appreciate you, Brody. Junie. And then he be giving us fits. It's cool. And then he could go F himself, right?
Then he's nice, though. Then he can play.
Then he is nice. When the Tibbs Liberation Party, I'm not talking about Tibbs. Talking about Tibbs makes me have diarrhea. The New York Knicks are going to be renamed Bronx, New York Box Cutters. We cutting all day. This much talent in this.
Damn.
I appreciate you, yeah, Julian Horn. What y'all think about Josh Hart? I feel his attitude is off a bit about his role in beginning to. Listen, man, that man got a splint in his hand, whatever it's called, and he's having back spasms. And he's 30 years old, and his contract perfectly aligns up in the trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So at this point, what he needs to do is worry about himself getting healthy. And
Did you just drool just now? It looked like you just drooled just now.
I think I did.
Fucking big ass came out just now.
Y'all want Giannis that bad, bro. I want him that bad.
Yeah, but not for nothing. I was pissed off at Josh because it's like he almost did that shit on purpose. Like he showed up to camp with his finger, like his finger was all like this, or whatever.
No,
you mean to tell me nothing could have been done?
I don't think it could. Probably, I ain't gonna lie. And then he said he re-injured it during the summer, like. And
But
he's gonna have to wear a split the whole season.
Didn't he respond to you one time? Because you was like talking, yo, you need to do something. I think he responded
Absolutely.
back to you, and it was over the finger.
Yeah, and I said, yo, bro, you haven't been in the gym all summer. And he said back to me verbatim, hey, I know, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be in the gym in late September after I get this. I seen the gym video. Will you shoot middies?
Trash. He missed every single one. I don't even know why they posted that. It's a shooting hand, bro.
Shout out to Josh Hart, man. Shout out to Joshy, man. Joshy.
You know, my thing is, it's a finger, bro. So I mean, get it fixed. It don't take long for your finger to heal, unless it's some ligament damage and that type of stuff. If that's what's happening, because I mean that sounds like season-ending stuff. If it's ligament damage to his finger, you know what I'm saying? You put a splint on it. He's supposed to last 82 games plus the playoffs. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know neither. Shouts to Joshy. He making 19 something million. His contract aligns.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we already got guys that could do what that he does. You know, if he missed his time, we wouldn't even notice.
We definitely wouldn't, for sure, man. But shout out to Joshy.
Word.
I appreciate it. Joshua. Shouts to Mikal Bridges too. That 5 first-round picks, you know, he's first out the door. The Knicks trying to get Giannis. Listen, man, it's a wait and see for sure. I just think, just be patient, bro. Just be patient. That's all the Knicks need to do. Just be patient. Don't try to do too much. Let's make sure that we could go on the next season and just stay healthy. I think the Knicks can win the championship with this roster and with what they're doing right now. But I also think that not Giannis will be a Knick, regardless if the Knicks win a championship next summer or if they don't win the next summer. I think he's going to be a Knick. I can't see him, like, I'll give you an example, like, I can't see Giannis in the Charlotte Hornets jersey.
Or OKC jersey or any other jersey.
Yeah, like, and plus his wife is like, I'm in Athens for a year. You don't think he loves his wife? You don't think she gonna be like, hey, Papa, I need I want 37, Papa. It depends.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think, man. How about you, bro?
We'll see what happens, man. I think the Knicks are good as they are, but you know, if you want to talk about holes and stuff, I feel like the Knicks are lacking rebounding wise. You know, that you're trying to figure out, you know, flow. You know, Mitch Robinson and Cat. You know, is that going to work? You know what I'm saying? You know, trying to find a spot for how we can make you know, get the best out of Cat. You know, moving him around from position to position doesn't sound like something fun. It doesn't sound like something that we can sustain. You know, Mitch Robinson is not really good at making plays from top of the key like we talked about. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be question marks. Also, Yabusele hasn't really necessarily been playing well either. This is still preseason, so guys have to carve out their roles. They have to do the work. They have to work hard, so and then throughout the course, I think maybe like the next few preseason games, because they'll be at home, they'll be on the state side, so we'll be able to watch them a little bit more closely. But as the season goes on, the same thing, like Christmas, we always talk about Christmas is the time where we will really know what we got. So right now it's just about us having fun and really enjoying what we're watching, and then getting into it and trying to see what we're doing and trying to see how we're going to get it done. It's a fun time.
Super fun time.
Yeah.
Super fun time. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I think that's the fun part. Oh, we got another question before we get out of here. I can see Giannis joining the Spurs or the Heat. Brother Noosey, brother. The Spurs, Giannis not playing with the Spurs after he's 30 years old, bro. I'm sorry. Right? Sometimes think about the wife. I think that's the person who's most important here. Giannis' wife is in Greece right now living. You want Giannis? Baby, your wife, I'm going to go sign in Texas, where it's a little further than Milwaukee.
Where's she from, though? I'm trying to see where she's from. She's from Fresno, California, so yeah, man.
She not doing that. She on some, listen, I was there for my time. I don't want to be there no more. and then you said Miami Heat. What? I didn't know Giannis was a cocaine abuser. I didn't know Giannis would rather play with Bam Adebayo than Jalen Brunson. I didn't know. So that's how I look at that. Giannis, the ball is in his court. You want to play with Bam Adebayo and who else? That's not good. Do you want to play with Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and whatever wing you choose out of OG and Mikal? I think that's great. Where else can he go at this point in his career? He's 30 years old. His wife got mad kids, bro. I think she's pregnant again, bro.
Yeah, he already said that he was like trying. He already got like plans for her ovaries already, man. I think he wants another one.
So Milwaukee, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna treat you just like the Brooklyn Nets when they gave us Mikal Bridges. I could, shouts to Mikal Bridges, missed the 5 first-round picks. I think he's gonna go in that deal, but that's a story for another day. I want to huge shouts to the Nets putting us to this point. Knicks look very attractive right now on the market. I think that's the most positive thing we take from all of this. Like, out of all of the, you guys should start chasing. Out of everything, the most positive thing you could think of, and myself, I think of is, I'm glad that superstars and other people is finally taking us serious and finally taking us to the point where we're like, okay, we gotta watch the Knicks now. We gotta make sure we gotta watch them boys.
Yeah. And even look at guys like Clarkson, guys at the end of their career, Clarkson and Brogdon. They both chose to come to the Knicks because they could see what time it is. Yabusele, he said he was watching the playoffs at home and say, "Yo, I want to play for the Knicks." You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to be. Everybody could see it. It's not like a surprise. Everybody could see it. So why not? Why not get Giannis and stuff? And like I said, some guys, especially like say Anthony MSG, I gotta say, because he's been on your show, he's been to the liquor store and stuff. I've talked to him plenty of times too on these type of programs or whatever, and like he always first to be like, oh, you guys are like, oh, just star chasing or whatever. He always feel like he's like the leader of our thoughts process and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he put out a post talking about it too, but it's not just about chasing stars. It's about trying to win a championship and getting somebody that could fit in what we're doing, not somebody that's going to come and be a savior. That was like the old 90s talk, with Mitch Lawrence and all those other guys that used to write articles and stuff like that. That's not today. You know what I'm saying? And also too, there's a disrespect for guys like me and you that we put these pods out. We talk. Yo, the freaking Yankees just tied the game, bro. 3-run home run by Aaron Judge.
Hey yo, the Yankees tied the game, yo.
His first home run of the postseason.
Yeah, they tied the game. Aaron Judge, bye. What's the Spanish word for it? Como está?
Oh shit.
Hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on, man.
So I mean, that's like his first big clutch hit, like of his career. I gotta say, he hasn't done shit in a long time.
Yankees don't want to go home. Oh, the Yankees. Oh, okay, papa.
And he's pointing at the screen. You saw him? I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, no, I ain't seen it yet, man. As soon as literally, I can't really like watch the game while I'm doing both of these because I gotta put it on my phone. As soon as I'm done with the pod, I'm like really tuned in. Hold on, let me make sure I could get Knicks fans this game right now. Oh man, Yankees tied it up, man. That's what you need, bro.
Yeah, you got to see the highlights too, man. He hit it off the pole too. Like the highlights, once he got to the dugout, he was pointing at the screen like that. He pointed at the screen, then he did a double take at the camera. That's for all the haters.
I like y'all sick of y'all talking about me.
Yeah, for the haters.
Oh man, let's see if I could. Hold on. Let's see. What's up?
Yeah, that's what's up. So I mean, guys like Giannis, you cheer for those guys. Those are the guys they're gonna make the big plays when the time counts. You know what I'm saying? We don't be cheering for Mitchell Robinson, to make the big key play at the end. We're looking for real ball players to take the game over. So if you got an opportunity to get a guy like that, you just make it happen.
Yeah. If I gotta depend on Mitchell Robinson to make any play for the New York Knicks, brother, in a playoff game, we lost. We lost. Aaron Judge, he's finally showing that clutch moment, bro. Randall,
he got that monkey off his back.
Yeah, Randall was supposed to have that monkey come off his back in the jersey.
Yeah, but he was hurt though, you know what I'm saying? But the thing, if we never traded for Cat, I think if we ran it back and maybe added something subtle, we probably still would have been in the same position, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think. Because I think we could have won a chip if he didn't get hurt. Because the whole team got hurt. Everybody got hurt. If everybody was healthy, I think we would have made it far, further than we did.
The whole team was dead.
Yeah, the whole team, everybody. We had so many good players, man. Even Bogdanovich,
Bojan.
Yeah. Bogey, we had mad players. Everybody got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
The whole team was dead, bro. Like that was the one season, and that was when we lost to Miami. Mm-hmm. I said, yo, we missed out, bro. We missed out. That's the one season where I was like, I was genuinely hurt when we lost that playoff series to Miami.
Which one? The one with who had Melo? The Melo year?
No, I felt like we were supposed to lose that one. I'm talking about the one where we just lost. That's why the light went dark. Because we just lost. We lost to them. Caleb Martin and Max Strus.
Oh, yeah, recently with
you can't lose to them.
Yeah, with Jimmy Butler. Knicks can't guard the three.
Didn't have the signature game.
Yeah. Knicks can't guard the three at the time. That's because of Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau and his stubborn ass.
And then, like the Indiana stuff, you lose to them back-to-back seasons in the playoffs. It's like, yo, you know what? I will accept me, and this is me personally. I will wholeheartedly accept losing in the finals, losing in the Eastern Conference this season, because I know the consolation prize is Giannis. So I will accept that. But you dudes need to show up. You can win the championship this year and still probably get Giannis in the offseason. Wow.
It's possible. I mean, the Golden State, they won championships and they still ended up with Durant. You gotta keep it moving.
So, it's how savvy is Leon Rose? That's the question.
So far he's been doing pretty good, so we can't really complain too much about what he's been doing. Since day one, he's been just quietly putting the team together. You know what I'm saying? Making the move that he wants to make, not, and being patient with it.
Making smart, savvy moves.
Yeah.
Moves you're supposed to make, man. I love what Leon Rose has done. Hopefully he can keep making savvy moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna put that pressure on him.
So when's the next time we're gonna do something, man? We gotta try to figure out something a little bit more solid, something frequent,
Sunday, man. Sunday, let's do it. Because I got a whole new schedule.
Right.
I got a whole new schedule. So it's like 3-11, like Monday through Friday. Like I got a whole new schedule. But Sunday I'm off. So let's get up Sunday. Let's do it, man. Pause.
All right, cool. I'm off Sundays too. That's the thing too. This season is gonna be a little bit different. I was doing watch-alongs and stuff, but I mean, I gotta try to find some days consistently to do stuff, man. So Sunday is one of them. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yo, it's if you're not a Knicks content creator and you getting 100K and all that, on all that, you have to do multiple things. So I completely understand. That's why dude wrote me yesterday, yo, State, you ain't been on the live stream. I'm seeing you playing the games on the live stream. You gonna put? I said, yo, brother, let's get some real great news. 1 and 2, we got lives. I put out audios, Twitch streams. I gotta deal with a woman.
Yeah, we got things going on and shit. People been hitting me up too. That wondering, yo, when you gonna put out another thing? What happened? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what you want me to do? Even some of the guys at work, yo, when you gonna put out a something? Say, yo, man, I'm always with you. What the hell you think I'm gonna put out something? I'm always with your ass. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm not with you, maybe I can figure out a time to go do something, man. But you gotta figure it out, man. Because I mean, people do, we have our little following and shit like that. People do hit us up, you're like, wait, what you doing? What's up? What's up with that dude? What's up with that doctor you used to do podcasts with? You know what I'm saying? Like they talking about you. You used to wear.
I'm gonna pull up this season with the scrubs on. Pull up this season with the scrubs on. So we're gonna get a couple of those in. That's for sure.
Okay. No doubt.
Any last words, Eru, before we get out of here? We go and help this guy. I'm at in the family liquor store, whatever, man. Fred Wines and Liquor, 113 in Lennox, man. 114. No, 113th in Lennox. 114th in Lennox was the last spot where we was at. So hopefully you guys pull up and come support Black-owned business. But my guy Eru, what do you got coming up? Because listen, I looked at the page. I say Eru ain't doing a live stream in about 5 days. I'm bringing him out of retirement. Nobody got time for that.
Well, State just said we're gonna try to do something on Sundays. See what happens. Maybe Sunday, Monday, and Fridays for me. Shout out to Phil Porto. He still wants to do that Knicks nightcap show. So maybe Wednesdays we'll probably be doing that. So just tune in, keep supporting content creator. I know State got his stuff going on too. I see he's trying to be more active on YouTube too, man. So just support real stuff. Stop supporting people that are not really not for us. And you can see right through them too. But people still support them. So I can't control what people do, man. But I mean, sometimes if people consistently do stuff, man, that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. People seem to like that type of stuff, so I don't know.
Everybody got connects.
I don't know.
I will say this. After Jalen Brunson signed here, I seen about 15 new Knick podcasts pop up.
There's a lot of them.
Look, I'm glad you went off. Turn on again. And like, I'm like, damn, where was you guys at in 2018, bro?
Yeah, things are easier now, man. So everybody can get in on it.
Yeah, their cousins is getting there.
Yeah.
You know, you Ian Bagley cousins and all that. You know, you Leon Rose, you related to Leon Rose, you get in and all that. But goddamn. But goddamn. People been here all summer. People been here all these years. When these people was going to get the recognition. That's what I would like to see this year. Like, Ian Bagley, you listen, man. People been putting in a lot of work. It's no reason why I haven't seen Ebro on SNY. I haven't seen Uncle Sin on SNY. There's no reason why at this point. The people that usually go up on SNY, these people that take breaks during the summer.
Some of them don't even have no content. You know what I'm saying? And somehow they got on there. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it's about them. Like, it's about what's hot and what's relevant for them to big themselves up. So I get it. It's a game to things.
I think that's irrelevant. Tips is fire. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. I don't want to tune into SNY and see a guy who ain't give or take the whole summer. I'm good. Why is he up there right now? When are we going to support the real? That's what I need to see Jay Ellis up there consistently, Stem, you, all of these other guys that do Knick podcast. I see another guy too, Marshall. Straight tape thief, by the way, on Knick's Twitter.
Everybody hates
Marshall. Where do these people be coming from and be a part of Knicks? Where do they come from? I didn't see anybody going 2018, bro.
I don't know.
Shout out to the Ultimate Warrior. You know,
rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior.
Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. I was watching the documentary. Hopefully, a lot of you fans listen to the documentary. Eru, what's the last thing you got to say to Knick fans? When the next thing you got coming out? Now let's get out of here, man. Salute to you, Knick fans too. We had an hour 30 up here. Appreciate you guys. We tapped out. What's this? 250 watching live. Appreciate all of you guys, man. Love all of you guys. Appreciate you guys, man. Eru, what else you got to say before we get out of it?
Now we just said it, you know, just keep supporting. You know, we're gonna keep putting our content as long as this suits us. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, you keep supporting, you know, and that gives us the energy to keep doing it. So just thanks to the fans.
Salute to everybody. Did the New York Knicks podcast. You know, Diehard Knicks podcast, Diehard State of Mind. I believe this is episode 95. If I get it wrong, I apologize on the audio. We have so many pods together. But appreciate all you guys, man. We out of here. Peace and blessings. Everybody stay safe. Love your loved ones. And hug your parents. I always tell you that at the end of the pod. Eru, peace, bro.
Peace, man.